Hi guys, it's Loey. Today I'm going to be doing another foundation routine, and you guys know whenever my skin is freaking out, I love to take the time to film an updated foundation routine because I find that my methods for covering the acne always changes. This is one of the worst breakouts I've had in years, so I thought I would take the time to just show you how I'm covering some serious cystic acne. This is going to be a foundation routine for fall, so it's a little bit more glowy. I'm focusing on more hydrating the skin, as well as really covering up any acne spots that I have. So you've already seen kind of the before in the thumbnail, and this is what it's going to look like after. So definitely more covered, more flawless, gives you just a nicer base. If you want to know how I cover my cystic acne breakouts, then just stay tuned. Alright, so apologies in advance if you can hear the fan in the background. It's a little bit too hot in here. But I'm going to start off with primer, which is essential when you have a lot to cover because it's going to keep everything on your face. And when you're like me and you have really dry skin, a primer can help as well with moisturization. If you have oily skin, it can help with oil control. This is from Rouge and it is the Prelude in the Clouds Aqua Primer. I'm going to list a drugstore alternative to this down below. Just use whatever you're comfortable with. So I'm going to take a pump on the back of my hand and just dot that on the face. Don't forget to put a bit under the eyes to help hold concealer there as well. So after giving that a minute or two to kind of sink in, we can move into actual foundation. The foundation I'm going to be using today is from L'Oreal, and it is the True Match Lumi Healthy Luminous Makeup. This is fantastic for fall. It's fantastic for dry skin because it just provides such a natural glow to the face without being overboard. You can see it doesn't match my face, but it will match my neck, which is the important part. So I'm going to take this and I'm just going to pump out 2 pumps to begin with. I'm not really trying to spread it out, I'm just trying to get an even amount in different areas of my face so that when I blend it out with a brush, it just blends out really easily and I don't have to double dip or anything like that and go back in for this first layer. Now whatever is left on the hand, I'm going to dip my brush into. This is a Real Techniques. Goodness gracious, I have no idea. It came in their face set, but it's just a large buffing brush and it's synthetic so that when I press it into the skin, it's not going to absorb the foundation that's there. So I'm just really lightly first pressing this into the skin, kind of spreading it out, and then I will start to buff in small circular motions. Now that I have one kind of quick layer on, I haven't even completely blended it, I'm going to take a second layer of foundation. I'm just taking 2 more pumps, and you might think this is a lot, but it's going to last for a little while and I may still have some left over. Just going to redot the foundation in the crucial areas, like right here on the forehead, on the chin, and where I have general acne. This is 2 layers of foundation, and as you can see, we've definitely taken out some of the redness, maybe even out the skin tone. For a more natural day, you could just leave it like this, you could be good to go. However, I'm going to add in some concealer. An important trick if you are trying to cover a lot on your face is to not go in with concealer right after you do the foundation. Give it maybe 2 minutes to kind of set on your face before you go in with concealer. I'm going to be using this Hard Candy Glamoflauge concealer in light medium that doesn't perfectly match the foundation. That's where the rest of this comes in handy because I'm going to kind of blend them together to get a perfect color match. Because I'm fake tanned, it gets really difficult because I always have to find a foundation and a concealer that match perfectly, and just by, you know, kind of mixing the foundation and the concealer together, I get a really nice match. It's been a few minutes, so I have some concealer on the back of my hand. I'm kind of warming it up with my fingertips, and I'm going to start to put this on the face. Nothing wrong with using fingers as a tool as long as they are clean. So as long as you are like disinfecting or washing your hands before you do your makeup, it's not going to spread bacteria. So I'm just kind of concealing areas that need it, and you will see, of course, this is a bit too light, but like I said, we're going to sort of mix things together and get that perfect color match. A huge tip if you're like me and you have a lot of scarring or breakouts in a very similar area is to not try so hard to just conceal those spots. Because this concealer isn't thick, I can really concentrate it in one area and then shear it out so it becomes next to nothing on the rest of the face. But if I try to focus it in one area, it gets too cakey and it gets to be too much. So now taking a little bit more of the foundation that I have left, I am just using my fingers for this part, and I'm going to dot this wherever I have down the concealer. And this is really going to help to blend that into the foundation and get that perfect color match. With particularly stubborn or large breakouts like this one, you might have to take a second round. So I am just mixing the concealer and the foundation together on the back of my hand. And I'm going to dot that right on those spots. And that's basically it. I have now covered up all of that acne, and I'm going to move into under eye concealing. So I don't like to use this particular concealer under the eyes. It's just a little bit too thick and it creases. So I'm just going to use my Maybelline Brightener first, putting it under and on top of the eyelids. Then using my Rimmel Wake Me Up concealer, I'm first going to take this and I'm going to put it in kind of a highlighting method on my face. So I'm first starting between the brows, down the nose, above that cupid's bow, and under the eyes in an upside down triangle. I wouldn't really recommend using wand concealers and dipping in and out of the tube on your blemishes, because it will spread bacteria and just it won't be very good. But you can see I'm not really breaking out in the areas where I'm highlighting. These areas never really do break out for me. It's always just on the jawline and on, you know, my cheeks and things. Using a clean, damp beauty blender sponge, this one is a Real Techniques Expert Face Sponge, I'm going to just start to blend out that concealer. Because my dark circles are something else and it's kind of early, I'm going to take a tiny bit more of the Wake Me Up concealer right there on the inner corners where the darkness is always the worst. I'm just going to blend that in with my finger. And here's a fantastic finishing step if your makeup just looks a little bit cakey on the rest of the face. This is a clean, damp sponge. Obviously, I've just flipped it over to the broad, kind of flat side. I'm just going to use this and really, really lightly dot it all over the face. So no additional product at all on it really. It's just a damp sponge, and it may not even pick up on camera, but it really just kind of evens out the foundation and acts as sort of a finishing step. Under the eyes, I'm going to use the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder in the color Creamy Natural, just using a small brush. This is an e.l.f. blush brush, but it's great for setting under eye concealer and things like that. Just going to press that really lightly in this area. And I like to powder the rest of the face a little bit later, but this area will move and crease if it is not set basically immediately. So I am just setting that off. At this point, I'm going to go and finish off the rest of my makeup, and I will be back to show you how I kind of set off the foundation. So I went off camera and did a little bit more of my makeup, and now I'm going to set off areas where I have the foundation just with a little bit of powder. This is the same powder I used under the eyes. I'm going to take it on that small brush, and what I'm going to do with this is put it wherever I put down those concealers for highlighting. This is really going to intensify that, because if I were to just put my normal skin colored powder on top, it would lose that brightening effect. This way it's going to amplify it and make sure it isn't kind of lost in the whole mix. I'm then going to take the exact same powder. This one is in my face color, which is called Sandstorm, and I'm going to use this on an e.l.f. kabuki, and this is going to go all over the face. Now, because I have so much going on, sometimes I don't even set my foundation off with powder. When you have a lot going on as far as like breakouts and stuff, I really do recommend it. Just because your concealer and foundation will have the tendency to move. This will kind of prolong how long it's going to stay in those areas, and it will kind of ensure that it's not gonna go anywhere. That's really all there is to it, and then you would just wanna go on with the rest of your face routine. So that's it. I basically finished off my makeup. This look will be up a little bit later in the week, and I set everything off with my Urban Decay All Nighter Makeup Setting Spray, which is so handy if you have one that you like. I love this one. I love the NYX Dewy Finish. They're just really going to keep your makeup looking fresh and natural and not super cakey or powdery, as well as keeping it on all day. So this is what it looks like after all is said and done. You can tell obviously all of those breakouts are very nicely covered, and I just have a much nicer looking face, really. So I hope this was helpful to those of you who might be experiencing similar issues with acne. If you did enjoy, make sure to give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and until next time, I love you. I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.